Olá, boa noite. Eu sou o Biribó, hoje com o vídeo 6 de Syberia. Kate Walker descobriu uma máquina para dar corda no trem, mas que fica fora da estação. Existe um barco que pode puxar o trem até o local, mas Kate Walker tem que pagar $100 e ainda providenciar a abertura da comporta da eclusa para liberar o barco. Com os reitores da universidade, Kate Walker descobriu que o Hans estudou lá paleontologia e principalmente os mamutes há muito tempo atrás, tendo construído no local alguns dispositivos à corda. Se ela consertar o coreto na praça da universidade, o coreto construído pelo Hans, os reitores darão os $100 de que ela precisa. Há um especialista em paleontologia, o professor Pons, que ela ainda não encontrou, para conseguir as uvas Sauvignon, que afastarão os pássaros cuco da escada que ela precisa acessar para ir na plataforma superior da estação fazer o que precisar fazer. E aqui eu não tinha encontrado o professor Pons. Pode até parecer que é grossura minha de não saber jogar, mas se vocês pensarem bem, vocês vão ver que a grossura é minha porque eu não sei jogar. Eu tentei clicar aqui para o lado direito na primeira vez que eu entrei nesse prédio e não deu nada, não deu ação. É que esse jogo tem um defeito que parece um delay. Se você entra no prédio, muda de cena e imediatamente clica em algum lugar, não acontece nada. Parece que ele tem que ter um tempo para liberar as ações no local. Então agora que ela já está parada aqui há algum tempo, podem notar que para a direita acende a luz aqui na aliança, dando ação. Então existe todo esse lado do prédio que eu não explorei, porque a primeira vez que eu entrei eu cliquei para cá, para o lado direito, e não aconteceu absolutamente nada. Professor Pons, eu suponho, presumo.
Excuse me. Sir, please, just a moment.
Yes, what is it? I'm not deaf, you know.
I am sorry to disturb you in your work, sir, but...
This young Mammothus primigenius is barely 40,000 years old. Fantastic, wouldn't you say, miss?
Yes. Probably.
What do you mean, probably?
I don't know.
You don't know? Oh, you don't know, I see. What can I do for you, my dear child?
Eu tinha tentado subir pela escada do lado direito também, e também não deu ação, mas essa eu entendi que não dava ação, porque existe uma cordinha ali fechando a escada. Mas que tivesse uma ala aqui do lado direito é novidade para mim.
To tell you the truth, I don't know very much about mammoths, and I'm not here as a student. In fact, I'm a lawyer.
It's all right. Nobody's perfect. All the same, the study of the Pleistocene period is fascinating.
I'm sure it is, but I'm sorry to say my current mission is totally monopolizing my time. Another time, maybe.
Ah, that's what they all say. But anyway, let me present myself. I'm Cornelius Ponce, Emeritus Professor and Lecturer at the University of Barrockstadt. I'm proud to say that I'm head of the Department of Paleozoology at our university.
Kate Walker. Pleased to meet you. It wasn't really my intention to stop off here, but I'll confess, this university is really very impressive.
Ah, indeed. There's such a tradition of learning here, and so much knowledge, a real depth of culture, intelligence, and gray matter. I myself did my studies here and never left.
Actually, I'm here because I've been summoned by the rectors of the university.
Oh, I see. You must have made a mistake on your enrollment form.
Oh, no. I haven't come here to study. I have an important matter of inheritance to attend to. I have to find the heir.
And you hope you will find him here?
I'm not altogether sure. But you see, my train broke down coming into Barrockstadt Station.
In that case, my dear, you must come to one of my lectures. Here's a question for you. Do you know what the Proboscidean order is?
The Probowhatian?
Ah, you see? There are gaps in your knowledge that need refreshing.
I feel I've lost my way a little here. I could really do with your help.
Oh, my dear child, you've chosen your moment. I absolutely must finish off my lecture for this afternoon.
It's a lecture about mammoths?
Oh, yes and no. More specifically, it is about their migration. Do excuse me, I need to concentrate.
To tell you the truth, I'm looking for Mr. Hans Vorarlberg. He's the sole heir of a very unusual factory. My company is in charge of negotiations for the takeover of this factory. At last word, he was living in Syberia. So, as soon as my train is ready, I'll be continuing my journey eastwards.
Syberia. Ah, Syberia. But what was it you said again?
Said what?
You mentioned a name. The person you are looking for.
Vorarlberg. Hans Vorarlberg. Do you know him?
Hans Vorarlberg. How could I forget him? Such an extraordinary fellow. So inventive. We shared a passion for mammoths, you know, and we bonded over this passion. Without it, I confess, I would have had little to do with an odd, ageless retard like Hans. At the time, we were both students. Well, sort of. Put it this way. Hans had special permission to attend paleontology lectures. You see, he didn't really have the necessary qualifications. In exchange, Hans did a few odd jobs around the university.
Your Hans Vorarlberg sounds uncannily like the one I'm looking for.
I'm not sure, my dear. Hans was above all questions of money and business. Just to imagine him running a factory, perish the thought.
Can you tell me a little bit more about him?
He was always a mystery to me. He never said very much, and never quite seemed to grasp what you said to him. He expressed himself instead through his incredible mechanical contraptions. His inventions, I admit, have been much appreciated by the university. The few times we really did talk, it was about his strange interest for mammoths and a doll. Some sort of doll that obsessed him.
A doll, you say?
Yes, he kept talking about it. One day he described it to me. A sort of children's toy. A miniature mammoth mounted by a mount. It appears he found it in a cave not far from his home. The event all sounds very dramatic. His account was slightly confused, but it awoke a great interest in me.
What do you mean?
To my knowledge, there is only one tribe who made figurines featuring a mouth, and that tribe is the Yukols. They live in the farthest reaches of Syberia, and for them, the dolls constituted a sacred object, illustrating one of their central legends. How such a doll made the journey from the frozen Siberian north to a cave in the French Alps is a mystery to me. Even today, it is beyond my comprehension.
Have you considered that Hans Vorarlberg was maybe making it up? You said yourself he didn't seem to have all his mental facilities intact.
No, that's impossible. Hans couldn't invent a story like that. The doll is a sacred part of the Syberia legend. He described it to me in exact detail. Syberia itself is a chimera that paleontologists of the world are very fond of pursuing.
Então o Hans foi atrás dos Yukols.
Arriving in Barrackstadt is an amazing experience. I've never seen such a station.
You came by train?
Yes, in a kind of clockwork train with a spring mechanism that winds down regularly.
You mean you drive a train? Young ladies of today never cease to amaze me.
Oh, no, I'm not the engineer. The train's engineer is actually an automaton. I am sorry, all this probably sounds very strange.
A clockwork train, driven by an automaton. I once knew a man long ago who could have invented such a train. It was he who designed the bandstand in the main square. To think that he was even capable of creating such a gadget. He was astounding, a true genius. But oddly, at the same time, he was also almost a child. It was as if his mental and physical evolution had definitively halted at the age of 10. Can you believe that?
Yes. I think I can believe that. At least I'm beginning to.
Estávamos falando dele até agora.
My train stopped in a peculiar aviary. It's very odd. A lot of bird species seem to seek harbor there.
Ornithology is far from being my favorite subject, but I must concede that the station is the pride of the university. It was initially intended for teaching purposes, but then birds started arriving from all around the world. It seems that there are still rare species breeding there and flourishing.
Are there? Can you give me an example?
I have been told about a kind of bird with peculiar habits. Let's see now, the Amazon cuckoo, that's right. But, I'm so foolish, I can't remember what was so special about it. Just that its behavior is very peculiar.
The Amazon? Where's the Amazon? What is the Amazon?
I'm sorry, my dear, but one cannot learn everything in a lifetime. Specialization is the key to real knowledge. Why don't you pay a visit to our library?
Thank you very much.
Eu já pesquisei, já sei tudo isso, tô só enganando para não ter que devolver o livro na biblioteca.
You wouldn't know where the forest Sauvignon plants are kept in Barrackstadt, would you?
Why do you think there are Sauvignon plants here?
I read about it in a book at the library.
Try going to see the station master. If such a shrub exists, he will have a better idea than anyone.
It's actually he who sent me to you. I thought it a little strange, but he definitely said ask the paleontologist. You're the only one here, aren't you?
Yes indeed. What a strange way to behave. Well, I think he must have made a mistake, that's all. Nobody tells me anything here. Maybe you should ask the rectors. After all, they are in charge of the university.
All right, thanks. Professor, how do I say this? You see, I didn't think I'd need a lot of money when I set out. And it turns out I need money after all. It's a delicate matter, I know, but I was wondering if you could help me out.
My dear, it would be a pleasure, but you see, I barely have enough myself to cover my meager expenditure on what I'm paid by the university.
Sorry, I didn't mean to offend or...
However, if we look at the example of Hans, it is true that our university always rewards people who perform some service for it. This is our dear rector's jurisdiction, however.
Manda pro outro, que manda pro outro, que manda pro outro. O chefe da estação manda pro paleontólogo, que manda pros reitores. Embora essa coisa do dinheiro ela já tenha resolvido com os reitores, pelo menos uma coisa foi combinada. Agora o resto todo, planta Sauvignon, ninguém quer falar.
I'll leave you in peace. I hope I haven't disturbed you too much.
Sorry? No, not at all, my dear child.
Então conseguiu isso, mas vai seguir no impasse.
Gentlemen, are you sure there are no Amazon Sauvignon plants in Barrackstadt? Because I have just interviewed the station master and the paleontologist, and what they said really didn't convince me that there wasn't any here.
We are quite definite on this point. There are no Sauvignon plants growing in Barrackstadt.
You see, miss, the Amazon forest Sauvignon is a rare shrub that requires very special conditions for growth.
That's right. Conditions that are very hard to reproduce, believe you me.
Difficult, but not impossible. Fortunately, our garden has proved very successful.
Your garden? So, there is a garden in Barrackstadt?
Oh, the garden. Well, if there was one, it would be only a little garden hidden behind the station. But our station master would be very proud of it.
He would take very good care of it, too. Everything would grow marvelously if we were able to cultivate it at all, and it would be all down to his gardening prowess.
And we would be proud as punch. And we wouldn't forget the role the paleontologist might play in this.
What's the paleontologist got to do with it all?
Without him and without his laboratory, how would we make the wine, do you think?
And it would be good wine indeed, my dear colleagues, would it not?
Oh, yes, a delightful balm to soothe away our long hours of toil and our heavy responsibilities.
We would wait impatiently every year for the arrival of the year's produce.
So, if I have understood you correctly, there are indeed Sauvignon plants in Barockstadt. They are cultivated in a garden behind the station, then turned into wine by the paleontologist's loving care, and finally, the pleasure of tasting is yours. If I'm not very much mistaken, gentlemen, you have a minor racket operating here.
Miss, you do go jumping to some hasty conclusions.
We never said that. That's not what we said
Falamos
at
só
all.
em tese, em teoria.
We were talking in the conditional, you know, with ifs and woulds.
So, what would happen if I had such a hunch?
You would have to keep it to yourself, of course.
Yes, if you would be so kind as to keep it a secret. It would only be a small local concern, producing barely a few bottles every year.
That's right, nothing so grandiose as a business. Otherwise, we'd be liable to be fined. So, we can't count on your discretion, can't we?
Don't worry, I have no intention at all of getting messed up in anything.
Mas quero saber onde estão. Ah, eles
Here
já
we are,
disseram.
busy chatting, and look at the clock. It's tea time.
E agora, o chefe da estação ou o paleontologista? Acho que primeiro o paleontologista que empresta o laboratório para fazer o vinho. E já que ele está mais perto aqui, senão a gente tem que ir até a estação e voltar.
Do excuse me, Professor. Professor, sorry to disturb you again.
What is it you want to know, miss?
I have just had a very interesting little discussion with the rectors. It seems that you are perfectly aware of the existence of Sauvignon plants here in Barockstadt. Apparently, you find them very tasty.
Not at all. I never drink wine. I prefer to make it. Production to me is much more satisfying.
So you don't deny.
Why, seeing as the rectors have let you into our little secret, I even converted part of the laboratory into a fermenting room for Ammer's own Sauvignon wine production. Of course, I cannot produce wine in large quantities. We have to be discreet, after all.
And what about your students? Haven't they noticed anything?
Oh, you know how students are. After all, a chemical reaction is still a chemical reaction, even when grapes are involved. And malolactic fermentation takes time. Sometimes strange odors begin to waft through the corridors. Then I just burn a little sulfur.
Incredible. Totally incredible. You are really something, Professor Pons. Really something.
I'm not sure whether I should take that as a compliment.
É, se ela fosse direto no jardim, o jardim tem aquela porta que está trancada. Agora vai no chefe da estação, então, confrontá-lo com todas as informações que ela já teve. É claro que o Hans ia parar para estudar nessa universidade. Só com essas estátuas gigantes de mamutes. Aqui, traidor. Abra a porta lá para mim.
You have been playing with me, haven't you? You knew very well there were forest Sauvignon berries in the station garden.
No, not at all. I've never seen your Sauvignon things.
You don't have to lie to me. I know all about it. You and the rectors are in cahoots, and the professor's lab has been turned into a distillery. You've all got a nice little smuggling racket on the side.
Smuggling racket? Hey, lady, you're going a bit far there. It's just a little on-the-side thing we got going, that's all. It's just for ourselves. Hey, honest.
You should be ashamed of yourselves. Aren't you worried about the reputation of this fine university? The authorities should be informed of this.
But we haven't done anything wrong. It's not a crime.
Can you open the gate to the garden, please?
Sure. No problemo. Right away, miss.
Toda vez que eu não queria ir lá, eu acabava indo. Agora que eu quero ir, vamos ver se eu acerto o caminho. Ah, sei.
There you are. Please feel free to visit the garden at your leisure. And there was just one thing. I'm not a liar. Not really. Just mum's the word. There is the reputation of the university to think about. And I have superiors, and I have to do what I can.
I understand. Don't you worry.
Thank you, miss.
Uvas Sauvignon. Então ela nem vai precisar atirar também. Esse jogo não é de violência contra os animais. Só vai embebedá-los um pouco. Mas com a uva que eles já usam para alimentação. Não é ela que está dando um jeito de maltratar as aves. E além do que, esses cucos ficam roubando os outros animais. Para não precisar criar os próprios filhos. Mas pro outro lado é a saída. Não é?
Miss, please, excuse me.
Yes?
You know, I want to apologize for our little misunderstanding. I brought you a bottle of wine. Markstadt Sauvignon. Very good year. Let me know what you think.
I'm very touched. Thank you.
Good luck on your journey, lady.
Thank you.
Aqui para frente é aquela saída para as ruínas e para outra coisa, não é? Ah, isso mesmo. Andando lá pelas escadarias ela não chega aqui, mas passando por dentro do trem ela chega aqui. Uvas Sauvignon. É, para dar para os pássaros. Mas se ela nem conseguiu o dinheiro nem nada, o que adianta ela subir lá para abrir as comportas? Ou não é isso que ela vai fazer lá? Ela vai conseguir o ovo de ouro para colocar no coreto do Hans? Os cucos trouxeram o ovo de ouro para cá?
Impossible to reach it.
É impossível alcançar. Então, não adiantou nada. Agora chegou no impasse. Só mudou o impasse. Levar o mamute para o paleontólogo. A estátua. O brinquedo. Talvez isso dê sequência em alguma coisa. Ah, dessa vez ela pegou. Então, é isso mesmo. Da outra vez ela disse, não preciso disso agora. Então talvez o professor dê... Vai dar a garrafa de vinho para alguém? Os da universidade já têm o vinho que eles mesmos fabricam. Para eles não vai ser um favor, nem para o professor, nem para os reitores. O cara da barca não quer nada além dos $100. O malcriado ali da porta para ajudar? Não sei. Não.
Professor, I have brought you something that should be of interest to you. Look.
What have you got there, then? Let's see. An effigy of a mammoth. But this is Hans' doll, is it not? Yes, of course it is. How on earth did you... Oh, my God. It's in my hands. It exists. It really exists. Please do excuse me. I'm deeply moved.
You see? Your Hans and my Vorarlberg heir are one and the same.
This is incredible. After all these years, how can I ever thank you, my dear? Oh, I must waste no time. I'm off to my laboratory. I must study this carefully. May I borrow your treasure a moment?
Well, actually,
Don't worry, miss. I will take the greatest care of it. But I need to study it. You see, it has such importance to me that this very afternoon I shall deliver an impromptu lecture to my students about this very object. If you are interested in Hans Vorarlberg, then it is essential that you attend.
do you think so?
Obviously. Give me your telephone number and I will call you the moment my lecture begins. I will return you your doll at the end. You have my word.
Deixou a porta aberta. Imagine se eu não vou entrar. E ela entrou bem na hora que estava quase fechando. Vinho, vinho. Carta que não dá para pegar. É um cilindro de voz? Parece. Cilindro de voz Barrockstadt. Tem alguma coisa aqui na pia. O que ela vai dizer quando chegar na pia? Que bom que a nossa pia veio, que bom que a nossa pia veio, que bom que a nossa pia veio. Não, é outra garrafa aqui. Mas essa é diferente. Pó de Angala Cola. Esse é feito com aquele cogumelo em pó que melhora milhares de vezes a visão. Tinha aqui um fórceps ou alguma coisa assim. Prendedor de tubo. É isso. Agora a Bá tá dizendo que não era nessa imagem, então ela me fez acertar dando um palpite errado. Que é como eu faço também, eu vou atrás das minhas intuições erradas. E acaba dando certo. Isso quando não dá errado, né? Em 99% das vezes dá errado mesmo. Mas no 1% que eu acerto. E agora eu tô cuidando de dar um tempinho quando muda de tela para não perder a ação. Agora descobri aquela escada dos cucos de novo. Eu tenho que entrar e sair do trem, daí aparece de repente. Que mistério é esse, né? Vindo por fora e passando pelas escadas e passarelas, não chega aqui. Embora a gente chegue na passarela central do trem. Ali. Onde a gente está vendo o trem parado ali. Mas não chega nessa escada. Primeiro tem que fechar a cena e depois usar. Ovo de cuco. Não é o ovo. Eu pensei que era o ovo que eles pegaram lá na máquina e colocaram aqui os cucos burros. Mas não, é um ovo de cuco mesmo que vai substituir o ovo de ouro. E tomara que dê certo, que pese a mesma coisa. Afinal, o cilindro não tem a ver com o mamute. Tem a ver só com a caixinha de música.
Hans, I have some very sad news. Our father is dead. He passed away peacefully last Sunday in his sleep. I feel so lonely now.
Father had been but a shadow of himself since your departure. I had to take care of everything for him. housework, factory paperwork, the workforce, clients, everything. And now, today, well, I really don't know who or what I'm fighting for. Times are so hard, and this terrible war is destroying everything. Nobody cares for our automatons anymore. I just think about you returning. And when you do return, I will have turned this factory into a palace worthy of your genius. Please take care of yourself. I love you so much, Anna.
Ela mandou notícias. Falta um último aqui. Um último cilindro de voz que ela ainda vai achar. Então vamos consertar a coisa, pegar nosso dinheiro. Pagar o barqueiro. Então, para liberar a comporta da eclusa, deve ser aquele telefone esquisito que tem ali trancado, né? Que até agora não serviu para nada. O professor ainda não chamou para palestra. E cuidado que os homens do Lazarevich já estão aí dentro. Aposto. O difícil era abrir a porta, depois não tinha nada para consertar, era só ligar a máquina de volta. Mas é melhor não contar isso para os reitores, senão eles vão dizer que $100 é muito caro. Missão cumprida, senhores.
Gentlemen, I have managed to repair your university bandstand.
The bandstand is playing again. This is marvelous news.
We are really very grateful indeed.
Yes, very grateful indeed. We will look back on your visit with much fondness in our hearts.
And now let us in turn honor our word. How much is it you need, miss?
$100, if it's not too much to ask.
We agree to grant you the aforementioned sum, miss. You may now leave with your train.
Dá para ir pelo lado de fora da estação, né? Acho. Por aqui. Pelo menos brilhou a aliança ali. Acho que é isso. Pelo lado de fora da estação. É, nessa escadaria aqui. É, mas que também daria para vir por dentro e descer a escada, claro. Trouxe seu dinheiro, senhor. Não é para conversar nada, é para entregar... É, tá com o pacote de dinheiro aqui. O saquinho de dinheiro.
There you go. Here's your money. I've checked it. It's all there.
Ah, thank you. Not difficult get dollar, see? You are a real businesswoman.
I'm not the only one around here.
We pleased to do deal with you. Now, you open lock or we no help you.
Why didn't you manage to open them? After all, you don't have to be a genius.
Ma vorbat pensiroso esto, di kleiner madam. No se sei mar alles non comprendo, en allora kaput en andere bordel. Zirs var moi. On boom telefonieren, kaput.
My husband say instructions complicated. No understand manual. My husband angry. Very angry. Oh, now telephone broke. Kaput.
Now that is annoying. What are you going to do next?
We wait repairman.
Well, I don't have the time to wait. I'll have to go have a look. There must be some way of releasing the opening mechanism.
Take key. Sailor always need key for lock.
É aquele telefone trancado mesmo.
Okay, thanks.
Ainda bem que eu acompanhei onde caiu, senão ia ficar mais 1h30 aqui procurando a chave. Chave da eclusa. Na verdade, a chave do aparelho que vai acionar a eclusa. Acho. É alguém ligando. Palestra?
Hello?
Hey, how's my little baby girl? I was thinking about you only yesterday because I saw this fantastic fur coat. You are wrapping up warm, aren't you? I mean, people in foreign countries never know how to dress properly for the weather.
Mom, it's so sweet of you to worry, but I'm fine, really. The trip's a breeze, no worries. I mean, there's...
Well, when are you coming back? Frank is dying to meet you.
Frank? Oh, yeah, your singer. You two seeing each other then?
Oh, you'll never guess the surprise he gave me yesterday.
No, I suppose I won't.
Frank invited me to a big charity show organized by, someone or another. Anyway, They got him singing a couple of old numbers from his repertoire, and in the end, he asked me to go up on stage with him. Can you imagine me, your mother, on stage in front of thousands of people?
Wow, I would have loved to have been there. Not too emotional, I hope.
Oh, too emotional by far, especially as I hadn't even been to the hairdresser. Well, I didn't even have the proper dress on. But Frank promised me he'd see to that next time. Oh, he's such a cutie, and he's got the sweetest little...
I'm sure he has, Mom.
It would be so good if you could join us one day. Let's see, when is his next gala? I'm so forgetful these days. I swear I'd lose my head if it weren't in the clouds. You just watch out, my girl. Them years will catch up with you much quicker than you think.
I'll look out for them, Ma. Nice to hear your voice. Lots of love.
Well, to you too, my little munchkin.
Ah, dessa vez ela conversou bastante com a mãe, não foi já desligando na cara que nem da outra vez, sem paciência. Chave. É isso.
The instructions are written in a language I don't recognize. That looks broken.
Em caso de problema, contate o seguinte número: 27666742. Anotou, Bar? Tomara que esteja automático aqui. Não, não está. 27666742.
Welcome to the East Block Control Center. To start, press the number sign. If you are using the Haltenberg lock, press 1. If you are using the Morloff lock, press 2. If you are using the Koningpass lock, press 3. If you are using the Barrackstadt lock, press 4. To return to the last command, press the number sign. If you want to raise the water level, press 1. If you want to lower the water level, press 2. To return to the last command, press the number sign. You want to lower the water level in the Barrackstadt lock? To confirm your choice, press star. To return to the previous command, press the number sign. Your request has been logged. Unfortunately, our regional technician is currently on holiday, and no replacement is available. We will reply to your request within 48 hours. In case of an emergency, please operate the lock system manually. We apologize for delays to our service.
Ela vai operar manualmente, então. Por que 4 e 2 e 1? Ah, 4 da represa, 1 baixar o nível. Abriu a eclusa. Agora vem o barco e eu subo de novo. Mas o barco tem que vir.
Hey there! On the boat! Right, I've got it! I know now how the locks work. So guide your boat into the lock, and I'll take care of the mechanism.
Godverdomme. Das ist eine echte Ladies. Alle trois, range alle Dingen and obligados de dame. Ach, set content on the route again.
What did your husband say?
You, hurry up! We hurry to travel again.
Okay. We'll meet each other on the other side. By my train, okay?
Mas agora ela tem que fechar a eclusa e encher de água. Mas ela já disse que vai encontrar do lado do trem. Sim, agora para encher 4-1, né? Embora, você tem que carregar o barco. O barco não, o trem. E a palestra? Também ela pode dar corda no trem e assistir a palestra e depois viajar. E agora?
Hey there! On the boat!
Da, barge on other side. You still need us?
It must be really neat to travel by river.
Oh, schlechte Boot. Eine vergette das Grund. Für mich, locker ist fantastica. Eine kleine Rund mit Usted, okay. You guide.
Excuse me?
My husband say he like his barge and he not like your train. Too noisy. If you want to travel in Tin Can, you stay in Tin Can.
Sure. There. Your barge is over the locks now. It's up to you to keep your part of the bargain.
Yes, bella Frau. Attach loco.
My husband say, return to train, attach chain, then barge will pull.
Okay. I'll get moving. What do we do now to tie my train to the barge?
Mademoiselle Tak, loco coco mitchen.
What did your husband say?
You attach chain to train and chain put train with barge.
Hop, catch it up.
Tinha que fazer mais uma pergunta boba. Sendo que ele devia ter jogado a corrente já da primeira vez que falou.
If that's going to work, it looks like something's missing.
Agora sim o gancho que a Bá tanto queria.
Hello, Kate Walker here.
Miss Walker, this is Professor Ponce. I'm about to start my lecture on the Yuccold at any moment. Please make haste to come.
Okay, I'll give it my best.
Excellent. We'll be in the main lecture hall. See you soon.
Presumo. O mesmo truque dos cucos. Isso aqui foi construído pelo Hans também.
Hello?
Where are you?
Hi, Dan. I'm in Barrackstadt.
What? Is that a town? I hope the man you're looking for lives there. Are you coming home soon?
From what I gather, it's one huge university with an extraordinary station aviary. If you could only see it, there are trees and birds everywhere. It's so weird here.
Sounds like a great place for a bit of sightseeing. So, are you coming back soon?
I don't think so. In fact, the train I'm traveling on has some kind of a mechanical problem. We've been forced to stop here.
Us? I thought you were alone. Who's with you?
Oscar, the train engineer.
You're messing around with mechanics now, are you?
Don't be so stupid, Dan, please. Oscar is an automaton created by Mr. Vorarlberg, the man I'm looking for. And he's not any old robot. He's a sophisticated butler type, if you see what I mean. He's a bit obsessive as well.
Kate, I don't know what they're feeding you in Europe, but don't you think it's time that you came home?
But my mission still isn't finished.
To hell with your mission. I don't know why you accepted it in the first place. If you just stuck to the middle of the road, then we wouldn't be in this mess.
We? If there's any mess, it's me who's in it. And while I'm trying to come to grips with strange towns, you, my darling, are sitting at home on your butt. I seem to remember we had nothing against my departure.
It was only going to be 2 or 3 days, Kate. Please, try to put yourself in my shoes.
Your shoes. Not only do I have to fit myself into your diary, but I've got to get myself into your shoes as well? Is there anywhere else Sir would like me to put myself while we're on this subject?
Look, I don't want to talk about it now. Call me back when you've calmed down.
I was perfectly calm before I picked up your call. I only wanted a few words of encouragement, not your disdain. Was that too much to ask?
You can be such a selfish...
Takes one to know one, sweetheart.
Ai, ai. Quanto mais eu conheço o Dan, mais eu gosto do Oscar. Então é isso. Por hoje vamos parando por aqui. O Exou Biribó, agradecendo a presença, o apoio, as dicas, a torcida, desejando boa noite, até amanhã. Por enquanto eu fui...